Hey folks, Rachana Ranade here, and I welcome you all to our Thursday live stream. Today's topics are amazing, are really informative. We are going to talk about three, four important points. First things first, we are going to talk about what were the key highlights from our Prime Minister's 15th August speech. I'm going to focus only on one point from that entire speech, which is about the GST easing out, or streaming is a better word, streamlining GST. We're going to talk about that. Number one, we're going to talk about online gaming bill, which was passed in Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha today. We are going to talk about, I think it got passed in Lok Sabha yesterday, if I'm not mistaken. Today it got passed in the Rajya Sabha. What we were taught in CA is that any bill, if it were to become an act, there are stages for that. So step number one, it has to be passed in Lok Sabha. Step number two, it has to be passed in Rajya Sabha. After that, it goes to the president's. It goes for president's approval, right? Once president approves it, then any bill becomes an act. Okay. So we are going to discuss about that, and ultimately, we are also going to talk about something called as the Jackson Hole Symposium. I'm not sure if you have heard about this or not, but again, something very interesting because that's an annual summit that happens in the Kansas City in USA, and this is going to be the last Jackson Hole summit for Fed Chairman Jerome Powell, and it is expected that he will talk something about rate cuts. A lot of speculations around the Jackson Hole summit. We're going to discuss about that as well. As usual, we're also going to talk about a Nifty level. So a lot of things planned for today's live stream. But before we get started on this, let me quickly welcome our new members, Narsimha, Manikam, Rajdeep, and Mukul. Very warm welcome to our YouTube memberships. All right. So let's get started. First things first, I'm sure you have already read about this. So I'll just quickly take you through the GST possible changes. It is expected that these changes will get implemented by somewhere around October 2025, subject to GST Council. Because just because Modi ji said it in his speech, is it going to be implemented right away? No. GST Council has to approve that, and after which it can be implemented, and it is expected to be implemented around October 2025, right? Now, currently, I'm sure you are aware about this. We have, I think, four different slabs. We have a 5% slab, we have a 12% slab, we have an 18% slab, and we have a 28% slab. As per the new proposal, it is expected that we'll be remaining, we'll only move to two primary slabs, which is 5% and 18%. But they have mentioned that an additional slab, that is third slab, will be there, which will be 40% for luxury or for sin goods. Now, when I'm saying 12% category will be gone, is that going to be a big positive? Answer is yes. Whatever are the everyday goods, many of them fall in the 12% category. Everyday goods, typically FMCG sector, right? So if you are talking about stocks, something like Britannia, Nestle, Tata Consumer, if you're talking about Bikaji, okay, all these, majority of their FMCG items, packaged foods, dairy products, many of them fall under the 12% category. And as per the expected changes, there's a great possibility that they may fall down to the 5% category. So will this lower the burden for people like you and me in our day-to-day spends as well? Answer is obviously yes. So from 12% to 5%, it will be like a 7% cut is a good one for day-to-day spending items. Now, if I'm talking about something like non-discretionary, where we are saying that, okay, sorry, not non-discretionary. If I'm talking about discretionary spending, something like ACs, TV, fridge. Of course, we are not going to purchase that daily, but maybe once in 2, 3 years, 4 years, whatever. For them as well. So currently, majority of them, be it ACs, TV, fridges, all these, majority of them fall into the 28% category, and it is expected that they will also shift down to the 18% category. Now, if this be so, 10% cut is a good one, and any stocks which are related to these can also see a positive side. One thing that everyone was waiting and waiting and waiting is about the GST on insurance. I've been waiting for it for such a long time. Even today, I've said this in so many of my previous videos as well, that overall, the penetration of insurance in India is not that great. If we were to boost this, we have to give some additional incentives. And if GST is cut down to 0%, I'm sure it will have a positive impact. So if that be so, a big thumbs up. Would really love to hear that GST on insurance policies has been brought down to 0%. Will really love it. Uh, Amit is saying we also have 3% slab and 0% slab. Yes, yes, of course we have 0% slab. Will petrol and electricity come under GST? Amit, I doubt. Petrol, electricity, very, very tough to come under GST. Petrol basically forms a big chunk of the state revenue, and it's pretty tricky that it will be included in GST. Hmm, interesting. Rajalingam says, but what if companies, instead of passing on the benefit to consumers, pocket it by increasing the price? Uh, Again, see, this is what again I remember studying back when I was doing CA. Uh, at that time, of course, we had VAT and service tax. GST came much later, but the logics remain same, right? So in that we were taught that if there is a downward revision in the rates, then it is an onus. It's the responsibility of the company to pass on these benefits to the consumers. And if it is found that the companies are playing the bad guys role and they are not passing on these benefits to the consumers, they are pocketing this, then action can be initiated, is what we were taught under VAT and service tax. And I believe that the same logic will flow for GST as well. So whenever such norms are open, such norms are introduced, I'm sure the GST council will make it very clear, loud and clear, that they will ensure that, I mean, they will definitely tell the companies that whatever the benefit is, that needs to be passed on. If not, then some action can be initiated, is what I feel, right? Uh, Having said that, can't they increase the price? They can to some extent, but if they're pocketing the entire benefit, I think some action can be initiated in such cases, right? All right. So I think your question is answered, Rajalingam. Samir is asking, so will company discount it in the product or will the price remain same to margin? Uh, will the company discount it? So ideally, if it is inclusive of GST, the product prices should come down. And if GST is being charged additionally, then obviously the ultimate price will remain. I mean, ultimate price will also come down to some extent, right? Just as an example, my courses currently, I have to pay 18%. But not 18%. Akshay is sitting right here, and he files the GST and everything. So I just confirmed. So my courses are priced in such a way that the prices are inclusive of GST. So if the GST rate for educational courses, assume if government says learning from Rachana is real, not from Rachana, okay. Upskilling is important. Learning about, I mean, getting financially literate is really important. And if government says that we will bring down the GST rate from 18% to 0%, as an example, of course, my course prices will clearly drop by 18%. No second thoughts on that. Okay. So I hope, Samir, that answers your question. Sadanand is saying, "Te saga theek hai, which shares will get affected?" So, as I told you, for FMCG, it will be companies like Britannia, Nestle, Lala. If I'm talking about autos, that is again a very important point. For autos, if I'm talking about cars like Vitara, Brezza, and what Wagoner, all these, okay, which are not luxury cars per se, then again it is expected that the GST rate will be cut, and in such cases, of course, stocks like Maruti or even Hyundai Motors, they will stand to benefit. In fact, if you remember when this news came out, all these stocks immediately jumped up, except the favorite, Tata Motors. When all these stocks were up by almost what, 9%, 10%, 11%, Tata Motors was up by 1.7% or 1.8%. The logic could be something like this, because as I told you, right, for luxury products, for sin products, the GST is expected to go up to 40%, right? Now, Tata Motors major revenue comes from JLR. I understand that JLR, majority of their, I mean, the bigger chunk of their market is not India, it's exports. But for JLR, whatever Land Rovers, whatever Jaguars will be sold in India, of course, they will be in the luxury category. And in that case, in fact, the GST could go up from 28% to 40%. And maybe that could be one of the reasons why Tata Motors did not see a big jump on the same day as well when this news came up. But yes, it is as is, right? Acha, kya baat hai? Rajdeep Singh says, yes, same is for GST. Maybe he's referring to the logic which I told for service tax and VAT. But yes, thank you for that. Amruta is saying, which all cars are best to buy this time? Amruta, if you are wanting to buy a luxury car, I think this is the right time before it gets up to 40%. All right. And if you're talking about smaller cars, wait till the GST comes down. So let's see, right? Uh, okay, Minakshi has a question. Ma'am, government capex will reduce after all these GST and income tax reforms? A very good question, Minakshi, because if we are talking about reducing GST on a lot of items, is that going to dent the revenues for the government? Answer is 100% yes. The revenue will get impacted. But typically, what we have seen is that whenever tax rates are cut, this has been proven in the past as well. Okay. Is it bad for the shorter term for the government? It is. But in the longer term, in fact, the revenue keeps on increasing because whatever people, let's say some people are not playing a fair game, they are not disclosing everything. I'm sure there'll be some people like that as well, but more and more disclosures, so lesser taxes leads to more disclosures by people is what we have seen in the past. So this will ideally improve the government's revenue in the longer term, but you are absolutely right, in the short term it can impact the government's revenue. Rishikesh is saying you bought Mercedes at the right time then. But Rishikesh, Modi ji had not told this to me that I am planning to increase rates on luxury cars. Okay, just kidding. But yes, if the rate blows up to 40% for luxury cars, I'm definitely going to say that I knew it. That is the reason why I bought it before this hike, right? All right. Yes. So this is it about the GST things. 5%, 18%. Primarily, and of course, as I mentioned, there's a 40% category as well. The second point that I wanted to tell you is about online gaming, something which I was waiting for a long time. This bill has ultimately come and it has been passed by Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. I'm really happy with that. Such a shame. I read this in the news. I have not verified it by myself. I read this I saw this in the news. There were 40 crore people roughly who were using these online betting apps or whatever you call online fantasy games, skill based games, whatever you call them, be it Dream 11 or whatever. This is not against any specific name. This is one of the most popular names. That is the reason why I said this. But 40 crore accounts, 40 crore people who are using, who are playing all these fantasy games, and those people say, oh, stock market is very risky, I better play fantasy games. There were only 10 crore demat accounts up until 3 years ago. Now the number has gone up from 10 crore to 20 crore, if I'm not mistaken. So 20 crore demat accounts and 40 crore for online gaming apps. Really, really disturbing number if this is the correct number. But there I durust hai. Very, very happy with what steps have been taken by the government. Is this also going to put a dent on government revenue? 100% yes. Such games were taxed as, see, this is like gambling only, na? So whatever money people would have earned from this, that flat goes as 30% taxation, correct? Online betting, this, that. Now this will be a direct cut for the revenue for the government, but I'm still happy government has taken such a bold step in the benefit of people, and they have said that we are going to just not we are not going to allow this. As I mentioned, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, both places it has been passed, will now go for president's approval, and ultimately this bill will get converted into an act. But now, it will be really interesting to see how these online games are reacting to it. I just checked this money control article wherein they have mentioned that any people who have parked their money in their wallets. I have not played Dream 11, but apparently you were as per that article. If I'm not sure if I'm correct or not, but let's say if I want to play, then I will have to pay some money to, let's say, Dream 11, and assuming that I would be required to deposit some money in their wallet. And assume I wanted to play for what, 100 rupees, and I deposited, let's say, 500 rupees as an example. Uh, and 400 rupees are still with Dream 11. Will I be allowed to withdraw? Answer is yes. That's what the article mentions. So, all in all, yes, this is about the online gaming bill. They have very clearly mentioned that we are not against esports. There will be a boost which will be given for esports, is what Ashnavi Vaishnavji said. Uh, in fact, there are some sort of leisure games as well. For example, there is something like online chess which you can play for leisure. No money is involved. That will be boosted. Esports will be boosted. But anything which is in the nature of betting and even disguised as skill based, that will be prohibited. So big thumbs up for that. Very courageous move, because as I mentioned, will hit the revenues of the government. But I mean, big thumbs up for that. What does the Dhaval have to say? For GST, short term limited or no impact, long term dependent on growth and geopolitics. Short term, yes. I don't think it will be no impact. There will be an impact on GST. Long term growth and all these things definitely play out. Geopolitics is going to play out, but again, you're forcing me to come to my favorite topic. But it's really interesting developments taking place. We having word with China about at least talking about certain trade deals. In fact, I was seeing a video where China and Brazil were discussing about, because in the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. These are the 5 key countries, right? Now they're adding more and more. So, in fact, I read this somewhere that, or I was watching a YouTube video in that China has started telling this to a lot of companies in Brazil as well, that uh, if you are making cars, if you're making electric cars, why not make BYD instead of American electric cars or American cars? And whatever is the payment, no need to settle the transactions in US dollars, settle directly in Chinese yuan. The video or that article again mentioned that overall 70% of the global trade was settled in US dollars up until a decade ago. So let us say 100 rupees worth, or 100, how do I say, 100 ka value of 100 not rupees, 100 value was being traded as a world trade. Out of that 100, 70% was being settled in dollars. Okay, 70 was being settled in dollars, 13 other currencies. And this has already slipped to around 50%, 50%. So this is a clear sign of shifting the dominance away from dollars. In fact, Trump is playing a role in strengthening BRICS. Absolutely, Samir, you said it. BRICS countries, which were, BRICS countries, of course, they are together, but I think their level of bond could go to another level if US does not stop with all these things. So these tariff things and all, right? So it will be really interesting to watch how the world order could change in the coming few years or not. But again, it's a long decision to go. For the time being, something to watch is the Jackson Hole Symposium. Anyone who is not so much aware about that, this is an annual symposium. Okay, so annual symposium once a year. It takes place in the Kansas City, and here Jerome Powell, who is the Fed chair, it's going to be his last speech, and that is the reason why everyone is going to focus on the tone of his speech. What all things is he going to say? Is he going to talk about interest rate cuts or not? Because simple, if US talks about interest rate cuts, ideally other central banks would also want to align with the interest rate cuts. Correct. Otherwise, there are mismatches in the currency rates. let's not go so much deep into international finance, but just understand this: if US cuts interest rates, typically other countries of the world also follow suit. Okay, also copy, in simple words. So it's not just about US Fed, it's about central banks from Europe. So it is about European Central Bank, it's about Bank of Japan, it's about Bank of England, it's about RBI, all the key central banks of the world. Uh, so central bankers. So again, I'm telling you, who attends this overall Jackson Hole Symposium. By the way, the name of that place is Jackson Hole. Okay, so this annual Fed meeting is what I should say. Simple terms ke liye. Not only attended by key people in USA, but officers from central banks of something like, as I mentioned, so RBI officials may also be there. Officials from European Central Bank, officials from Bank of Japan, Bank of England, they will also attend. Uh, Top academicians typically attend this Jackson Hole Symposium. A lot of scholars basically are present there, and they all are interested to know about what is the overall stance that the US Fed may take. Uh, a lot of people are saying that he may hint around a 25 basis point rate cut in the month of September. But again, it'll be interesting to see whether he talks about that or not. The big talk is also about Fed's independence, because Trump has been saying that Fed is not doing its job properly. Fed needs to cut. Fed should have cut the interest rates long back. They have not yet cut interest rates, uh, and you know, as good as he's pressurizing the Fed to cut interest rates, but Jerome Powell has stood by his thought process, by the thought process of his advisors as well, I'm sure, and he has not cut the rates as of now. In fact, President Trump went on to such an extent that he said, I would want to remove the Fed governor. Her name is Lisa Cook. And I mean, this is a clear case of political interference in the Fed's working. So he has in fact even nominated a person who could replace Lisa Cook. So interesting time. So this Jackson Hole Symposium will also, I mean, will not only be seen from an angle of interest rate cuts, overall US economic strength. It will also be checked from a perspective of how much political interference is happening in the decisions of the Fed. So again, interesting times. The overall, uh, I mean, his speech is expected to be today. Powell may remove Trump. No, no, impossible. Uh, so tomorrow his speech is expected at the Jackson Hole Symposium. Let's see what are the key takeaways, and if I feel that something needs to be updated, I will make a short video on that as well. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Meenakshi has again pointed out to an important point. Ma'am, weekly expiry will be stopped. I mean, hopefully SEBI doesn't do that, but there are great chances, is what we understand. I mean, SEBI has been changing its stance. They have mentioned that they may stop weekly expiry. I mean, there was a time when there used to be almost 1 day, 1 week expiry. So Fin Nifty 1 day expiry, Sensex 1 day expiry, Nifty 1 day expiry, Bank Nifty 1 day expiry. 1 day expiry as in what? Uh, I think I even forgot. Bank Nifty I think was Wednesday expiry. Thursday was Nifty expiry. Tuesday Sensex expiry. Fin Nifty I think was on Monday. So all these are weekly expiries, but every day of the week there is to be one weekly expiry. From that, we move to only one index, one exchange expiry for a week. So, for example, NSE can come up with only one weekly expiry, and that is why Nifty. Sensex will, BSE will have only one weekly expiry, and that is why Sensex. Now they are saying that we will stop weekly expiry. I'm sure this is going to remove a lot of liquidity from the market. I would not appreciate this move. I'm sure the brokers will be really, really hurt with this. A lot of revenue for the brokers also gets generated from such weekly contracts as well. Overall, somewhere liquidity could drive from the market is also what I sense. If I mean, uh, if I had a power to at least give a suggestion to SEBI, just my thought process, if it were to go till SEBI, See, for SEBI, it is investor awareness, investor protection, right? So if SEBI feels that smaller investors who have low ticket size, if they could get crushed because of such weekly F&O thing, then they could raise the overall lot size, they could raise the minimum margin requirement, let us say. But those people who have the risk taking capacity, those people who have, those institutions who have that much money for weekly expiries, stopping that. So I feel, I mean, to some extent, again, uh, for smaller retail players, uh, just for them to stop entering into F&O trades unnecessarily only from speculative purpose. The ticket size could be increased, the lot size could be increased, the margin requirement could be increased. But those who have the capacity, uh, they could have been allowed. Plus, whenever we talk about weekly expiries, it's not 100% speculation. I'm sure a lot of people do hedge as well. Uh, using technical analysis, using option chain analysis. Uh, I'm sure this, I mean, there's a proper study using option chain analysis, using technical analysis. There's a concept of max pain, which can hint towards what could be the expiry and all that, the level at which contracts could expire. Um, oh, no, Rajalingam, it's nowhere close to online gaming. Absolutely not. Understand this. When we are talking about weekly expiry, if we're talking about studying Nifty, we do have a lot of parameters to check. Correct? What is the option chain telling us? How many contracts are open at which levels? We do have technical analysis as well. So I don't think it can be even compared with anything like online gaming. You saying that who will score a century today, that's pure, that's, I mean, that has got nothing to do with what has been the record of that player in the past. If some, let's say Jackson Hole outcomes uh, are out in the public, and overall we come to know that, okay, they have given an overall negative picture for the US economy, unemployment rates increase, la la la, as an example, then ideally Nifty would go down. So whenever I talk about a market, there is a cause and effect relationship. Baba, you can't say that it is speculative 100%. No, no, not at all. Okay. uh, all right. Possible. If will FI money also dry up with this expiry thing? For F&O, yes, there's a possibility that it will at least reduce that. That's what I'm telling you. Will it impact? Yes, it will impact. So let's see how this is going to play out against so many things happening, right? Ma'am, we will like to learn about use of AI in trading. Will you please start the course regarding use of AI in trading? Absolutely. It's on the cards. Uh, Ideally, I should be able to do the announcement of the AI seminar by the next Thursday. Uh, we have already finalized everything. The content is ready. Uh, because I have told this so many times that uh, whenever I come up with any course, whenever I come up with any seminar, also, I would never do this, that just read theoretically and deliver a session. No, no. Unless and until I do it personally for a good amount of time, some months, then only I would come up with a course or a seminar. And I've been using ChatGPT extensively. I've been using Perplexity. I've been using Claude. I've been using Grok. I've been using Notebook LLM. So many things I've been using. Uh, Now trying to learn a little bit of automation as well, using agentic AI, trying to learn gamma.ai. So many things I'm learning. Every day something new comes up. I ensure that at least every day half an hour to 45 minutes minimum I devote to learn what's new in the AI space. So this is what I'm investing as my time, so that I can, just summarize this and give this to you as good knowledge through the seminar. I don't think a course makes sense per se, because this space is evolving at such a rapid pace that if I do a course, within no time that course will become irrelevant with the rapid changes that are happening in AI, right? So we'll not do a course, but we'll definitely try to make a seminar for that. Rajalingam is saying CRR is AI ready. Absolutely. Narendra is saying I'm using Google Gemini. Of course, maybe I did not use. I forgot to mention Gemini, but yes, I'm using Gemini as well. Perplexity has been my one of the favorites. GPT actually had started to go down in my favorite list, but with GPT-5, it's right on slot number one with the agentic AI version. Of course, yes, love it. Will definitely share my learnings by the next Thursday. I should be able to tell you on what date and everything about the AI seminar, right? But as of now, anyone who is in Maharashtra, who is in Ahilyanagar, earlier called as Ahmednagar, having a live seminar, Har Ghar Investor, which is going to happen on the 14th of September, 11:30 a.m. A lot of things. It's those who have attended my Har Ghar Investor seminar, they already know about this. The first half is a pure gamified version, not involving money. Okay, so gamified versions like Kaun Banega Crorepati's audience poll or fastest finger first, something like that, where I ask questions, people from the audience give their answers via mobile apps. So it's really interesting. A lot of new learnings is what you'll get to know from this Har Ghar Investor event. Many questions which people have typically, like what are the new investment avenues, stocks or mutual funds which are better, all these questions are also answered in this session. We'll take a small AI session in this as well, how I use AI in investing, a very smaller version, just 15 minutes, not more than that. But yes, we'll take it in this Har Ghar Investor event as well. So anyone who is in Pune, Mumbai, Aurangabad, and of course Nagar, please go ahead, book your seats. I know there's a lot of time left, but typically all these events get sold out. And last day I get a lot of requests, ma'am, only one ticket, only two tickets. When the show is sold out, it's very difficult. Anirudh, the event is in Pune. No, it is in Ahmednagar, Ahilyanagar. Uh, so it's barely 2 hours away from Pune, right? Any plans for organizing in Hyderabad? Yes, Hyderabad is on the cards. We are finalizing the venue. Okay. Finally, coming on to the last point, Nifty levels. Let me quickly share my screen. Hold data points. 1 minute. I'll go to weekly chart. Something really interesting in the weekly setup. You can see here that this was an immediate previous swing high. So high, low, lower high, lower low, correct? This was the immediate previous lower swing high. And after a long time, see, this was being challenged immediate 2 days. So there was a big consolidation here, one nice big green candle, 2% up, and then followed by that huge selling. Ultimately, we have again closed above this crucial level. Okay, we will close above this crucial level tomorrow, hopefully. And if you're able to do that, I feel that this could be the next stop at 25,600, 700. As of now, this in itself is a very, very nice support. Let me just be a little bit more specific here. 24,852 or whatever, 24,800 you can say. Even if I'm talking about this gap, it's 24,700 and 24,730, whatever. So 24,800 is the big support. Definitely you can note that down. And ideally, if we stay above this tomorrow, we should head towards 25,700. Of course, what are the outcomes of Jackson Hole Symposium? That will also decide the course. So let's see. Okay. Oh, Rajlingam, यहाँ पे it's mentioned member for 48 months, actually 50 months, as I took my membership on your birthday 4 years back. क्या बात है, so good to know that, Rajlingam. Which sectors are going to get most impacted because of India-China relations now? Uh, no deals have been signed, honestly, but if we sign up with deals, like there'll be no barriers in supply of rare earth minerals and all that. Uh, Something like an auto will be positively impacted. But again, too early to tell which sectors will get impacted, honestly. Shall we invest directly through MCs in mutual funds or investing through apps like Coin or Grow is fine? Investing through apps like Coin or Grow is absolutely fine if you are aware of which mutual fund you should be buying. If you have zero idea about that, if you don't want to study, if you want to rely on someone, then you have no choice but to request some person to manage your mutual funds. But a simple thing can be, if you were to learn how to choose mutual funds, for that we have a separate course on magic of mutual funds. Here, if you go to stock market courses, you have this course on magic of mutual funds. Here I've taught how can you choose which mutual fund is sahi for you, how to choose that. A lot of points. If you want to know what all things are covered, just click on this course, and you will see here magic of mutual fund 2.0 index. Okay, so you can just click here. 2.0 is nothing. It's a newer version. It is not like a sequel of the first one. It's a brand new shoot. That is why 2.0. Okay, so you can just click on this index. You will get to know what all things are covered in this course, but will definitely help you choose uh, good mutual funds for yourself. Oh, Shubham says member for 52 months. क्या बात है, क्या बात है. Not yet. I think you joined late. I mentioned FMCG could benefit. Automobiles can benefit. Even companies which are into white goods category, AC, TV, fridges, they could benefit. I think I missed this. Is SBI Securities MTF facility good? Uh, I have not used SBI Securities, so not sure on that. But overall, MTF facility as a concept is not bad. You should be disciplined in your approach. That is the only thing. Never used it, never studied it in detail, so would not want to comment on that. EV by EBITDA. Oh, that's one of the valuation methods. Enterprise value divided by earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. In simple words, it's nothing but one of the valuation methods through which uh, you can gauge what is uh, the value of one stock. Okay, so for example, we typically say that if the fair valuation, I mean, ideally you should compare the fair valuation with the market price. If fair valuation is higher, let's say fair valuation of a stock is 1,000 and current market price is only 700, ideally you should buy that because fair valuation is higher, current market price is lower. That's what theory says. But question is how to calculate the fair value. For that, you have different valuation methods, something like price to earning, price to sales, EV, EBITDA, uh, discounted cash flow, also price to book value, a lot of valuation methods, right? And EV, EBITDA is one of them, right? Neeraj says, I am two members since your journey were at 1 million. Kya baat hai, Neeraj? Good to know that. Could GST reduction hit state finances badly? Not sure badly or not, but will hit to some extent. One word on REC. Not one word, one sentence is what I'll say. Currently testing patience, but long-term story intact. Okay, what is your view on Wonderla, ma'am? I see reversal of trend on daily charts. Never tracked Wonderla. One minute. Okay, I'm not going to answer this because I'm not allowed to answer this. Everyone knows who, I, when, what, everything. I want everyone to check Wonderla holidays chart on a weekly time frame. Okay, let us see who can answer first. Wonderla on weekly chart, and you have to tell me any candlestick pattern that you can see there. Any candlestick pattern. I'm not going to answer. You have to answer. Fatafat, check. Wonderla weekly chart, candlestick pattern. Today Rajlingam is on fire. Rajlingam, you are answering so much today. Morningstar bullish reversal. Okay. Hammer. Okay. Gayatri says again more. So 2 votes for Morningstar. 2 votes for Hammer as well. Okay. It's a tie. The fifth vote can be a decider. Ten, 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 ten. Who's going to answer? MS? Acha, acha. I thought MS Dhoniचा काय संबंध आहे. MS is Morningstar. So 3-2. Morningstar, everyone knows how it is, right? By the way, the middle candle could be like a hammer. Could be. It's more of a doji though. Oh. Aniruddha is saying Morningstar. Dikshit is saying Morningstar. Meenakshi is saying clear cut Morningstar. Vishay. Rajdeep is saying Morningstar. क्या बात है, क्या बात है. All my viewers are so good at analysis. Fantastic. I feel so happy. I feel so happy. Sometimes I feel that good SEBI has not allowed me to do all these things. Last 3 months data, don't discuss. By that, I mean, before this rule came up, I was able to educate you with the latest things. But now, because you know the theory, it's just about application. So without me even opening my mouth on what the answer is, you only are giving so many amazing answers. Dil khush kar diya. Wow. Okay. All right. This is it. I think let's end on a happy note. Okay. So many people have given nice answers. Happy. Let's see what Mr. Jerome Powell has to say tomorrow, and we will try and gauge the overall sentiment. If I feel something needs to be told, then I will make a small video on that. Pranav, thank you. Toots. Pranav says, please hit like. I have stopped even looking at how many viewers, how many likes. Nice होना रहते काय. इलाज नहीं आता. So, anyways, I hope you found values in today's live stream as well, like a lot of other live streams. And keep on watching every Thursday, 9 p.m. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, take care. Jai Hind and bye-bye.